Hey y'all, it's your girl Mariah Sincere, and I am back with another live. I do apologize for being tardy, guys. I really was supposed to have this live about an hour ago, but I just kind of got behind with work. Then my daughter wanted to go to the park, and I had to come home and cook. So I think from now on, I'm just going to accept the fact that these lives need to kind of start late. So just remember as you're coming on in here to hit that like and subscribe button. I think today is going to be a good one. The topic is Cardi B and Jhené Aiko, right? And really, the main message is going to be that I feel like most women lack emotional intelligence. But we're going to get into that. Guys, remember to hit the like, comment, and subscribe button. And just be sure to share my content if you like it, if you like what I got going on. Y'all see my tan lines, y'all. I am so tired of being in the sun, y'all. I think I vacationed myself out this summer, and now I'm excited to get back to the work. And I know that sounds crazy because people feel like, oh, I want to be on vacation forever, but no. Let me look in the comments. Hey, Vicky. Hey, girl. Glad to see you here, sis. I swear I just said, where's Mariah? You went live. Yeah, I kind of been MIA, y'all. MIA, y'all, because y'all know I moved over here. Then I kind of, took some vacations. Then I had to bring, oh, y'all, my camera is about to die. What's going on? What's this? Give me a second, y'all. Okay, there we go. So my camera died. Let me see if I can get it to charge. But for now, I'm just going to have to be on my laptop. I should have charged this before I went live, y'all. No, I don't have my headphones because my daughter broke them. I let her use my headphones and then she did something crazy to them. So I apologize for that, y'all. Okay, let me see if I can get my other camera back on. Give me a minute. Okay, so while we're waiting on that, okay, I'm just gonna roll with it. I like the other camera because it just looks better. But anyway, so today, guys, we're going to be talking about how a lot of women, honestly and truly, lack emotional intelligence. Like, we feel like we have emotional intelligence just because we're more lovey-dovey and willing to give more of ourselves to people, but I don't think that that's the case at all. Okay. Give me a second. Let me make sure my audio is good. Perfect. I don't think that that's the case at all. So we're going to talk about Miss Jhené Aiko. Now, first of all, let me just say this. I love Jhené Aiko. I am a huge fan of Jhené. Especially when she put out the Chilombo album. At that time, guys, I was going through such a huge heartbreak. And I feel like that album got me through. Like, a 2-year relationship just ended to me out of nowhere, right? But now when I think back, I'm like, that relationship always had to end, right? But as far as the relationship dynamic, we weren't the couple that was arguing. There was no cheating involved that I knew of, and we got along pretty good. Trip album by Jhene got me through a breakup. Yeah, I mean, she makes that type of music. I think her music is healing. I think she's very talented. I think that she's very in tune with her spirituality. But I feel like a lot of the problems that a lot of women who were into spirituality and manifestation have is that they use it to see what they want to see and not to accept what's right in front of them, right? It's like they use it because of, they use it to convince themselves to stay longer in situations that they shouldn't stay in. And that's just not women who are into like spirituality per se. That's women who are Christian as well, right? And it's like if you're given spiritual gifts, along with that comes discernment. Like discernment is a real thing, right? And I feel like a lot of these women, especially when they're in love, they lack discernment. And spirituality is also supposed to give you the willpower to be able to move away from spaces that are no longer serving the higher good. But a lot of these women cannot seem to do that. Ooh, somebody being real loud. Alexa played Jhené Aiko break. Yeah, she's super talented, right? So I'm gonna show y'all this interview that Jhené, not Jhené, Big Sean did with Charlemagne. And fellas who were in the chat, let's keep it a buck. Now I got the prison background. It was supposed to look better on my other camera. Don't roast me too hard. But I'm gonna show y'all this interview that Big Sean did with Charlemagne the God. Now, my brothers in the chat, I want y'all to keep it all the way 1,000 and tell me what this sound like to y'all after we listen to it. And if y'all hear some noise in the background, I apologize. That's my daughter. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and play it.
Oh, y'all already did one little secret industry weddings? No. There has not been a secret industry marriage. I think that it's a little personal, you know what I mean? But just like, to be real with you, just like any people who have dealt with love, we've had our ups and downs, you know what I'm saying? And I think it's still finding the right navigation through it all. I don't know if to me.
Now, let me remind y'all, Jhené Aiko and Big Sean started dating when I was in college. I remember being pregnant and then being together. My daughter is 7 now. And I know they went through a breakup right before COVID where they might have had like a year off, but they've been dealing with each other for a very long time. Okay, it has an echo. Dang. Let me see if I can turn this camera on now. Hopefully it's charging. You know what? I think it's charging. Guys, let me try to change the settings because I don't want y'all to hear an echo and have to go through that. Okay, what about now, Binky? Does it have an echo? Hold on. Oh, you said just when I play the clip. Okay, give me a second.
Marriage symbolizes like the best relationship. You know, people be like, "Oh, you gotta get married." To me, I feel like having a relationship is first and foremost, and like marriage is a byproduct. I feel like people get the idea of like, oh, you have to get married, but then it's like, to me, that's almost a fear-based way of thinking too, because then people be getting divorced. The divorce rate is so fucking high. And I am someone who I'm not like discounting anything, and I'm not saying that we aren't gonna get married. But what I'm saying is that it's just
dang, and that's why I need my headphones, because what's happening is as I'm playing it, it's like y'all are hearing it on the screen and then the camera is picking up the audio. Let me see if I can turn off my audio. I'm gonna turn down my mic volume and see if that does anything. I'm gonna turn down my mic volume and so I'm gonna turn down my mic volume and then turn on the caption so that I can see what's being said.
I would like to do a lot. I would like to, and I don't like putting our personal business out there like that either. But there's a lot of work that needs to be done, I feel like, in general.
Well, take it from somebody who's been with a woman for 26 years, right? It's always going to be ups and downs.
Period.
The work's never going to stop.
Yeah.
Especially raising
26
kids.
years?
Been with her 26 years. Got married in 2014.
Oh,
So
shit.
you're married for 10.
Wow.
So it's going to always be ups and downs.
So what took you 16 years to get married?
I don't know.
Okay, so I wanted to pause there because, first of all, we all know Big Sean is not going to marry Jhené Aiko, right? And the reason why I believe that Big Sean was laughing at Charlemagne when he asked him, well, what took you 16 years to get married? Because he's trying to let him know, bro, you can't be calling me out because you're doing the exact same thing I'm doing. Like, as a man, you know what's going on. And at the same time, like, don't be putting me on the spot like that. You know, he was trying to take a little dig at him. But even with Charlemagne, 16 years was a long time, and he's going to go on to say, well, I knew this was the person that I wanted to spend my life with. And I don't necessarily think that that's so. I think ultimately Charlemagne's wife was the only woman that was going to put up with him and stay. You know, men though, I saw this video on Sovereign Woman's channel, and she was saying a lot of men, they don't leave their dummy. They just don't. So it's not hard to keep a man or stay with a man, ladies. All you have to do is stay through all the BS, right? So with Charlemagne, it's just he was with his wife for that long and she never went anywhere. She never left. She never broke up with him. So when you get to the point where you're in your 40s or close to 50, why would you leave a woman who has allowed you to continuously cheat and embarrass her and never went anywhere? Especially if you know that there is a strong possibility that you might do it again, even if you're trying to do better, right? A lot of these men are like this, they're non-committal, and they, even if they're trying to change their ways and not cheat anymore, they still want to know that if they do cheat, they have the option to do that and the woman is not going to go anywhere, right? Let's continue. Sorry guys, I had to turn my mic.
Exactly. It's kind of like a hard
I really
thing,
don't
man.
know. I really, truly, honestly don't know. In my mind, I felt like I wasn't where I needed to be, right? But I did know this is the person I want to be with for the rest of my life. So my mentality is, hey, I already know it's gonna be. It's nothing's. No relationship is gonna be perfect all the time. So if you're thinking that you gotta wait for this fairy tale magical awakening where everything's gonna be all good all the time, it's just like no, that's not the way life is.
No. I don't think it's that. I think that it's just seeing so many different. You know, the thing about Jhené is that we have so many relationships. It's like being peers, being in a group together, parents, romantic, all that. You know, it's like it's a crazy connection because no matter what, we're always going to be tied together, no matter what. So
So, guys, I like Big Sean. I think he's a really good rapper. He's better than most rappers out today. However, the time for his particular brand of rap has passed. He's not as popping, especially with the younger generations. Now, y'all keep it real with me in the chat. Tell me if you would be checking for Big Sean if it wasn't for Jhené Aiko. Please. Somebody tell me, because to be honest, I feel like she's the bigger star. She's the one who's able to sell out tours by herself. I feel like Jhené Aiko being with Big Sean makes him pop. Everybody is more interested in Jhené as the solo artist, and then secondary, her relationship with Big Sean, and in particular the way that she loves Big Sean. People are really intrigued by that, and I feel like that has kept Big Sean relevant, and I believe that Big Sean knows that. So when he's talking about in their relationship they wear so many hats, that's true. They are so intertwined that at this point it's difficult for Big Sean to walk away, even if he wants to. Because I remember when he broke up with Jhené and he was out running around with Ariana Grande and a couple of other women, her fans were dragging him. And again, it was a situation where the only time his name really seemed relevant was when people were discussing him and the relationship drama that he had with Jhené. And to be honest, at this point, because his time has passed for that particular brand of rap, unless he wants to be a feature artist, then the only thing that could keep him relevant is if he stays with Jhené, or if he starts doing stupid stuff and clowning on the internet. But Big Sean ain't never really rubbed me as somebody who will do anything for attention, or who is a clown, or does stuff just to be in the tabloids. He just don't seem like that type of person, and I'll definitely give him credit for that. Yeah, girl, that whole drama. But again, during that time, nobody really cared about the music. Nobody cared about any projects that Big Sean was working on. It was all about Jhené, right? And then they had so much drama on social media because she was super emotional and triggered. Okay, guys, I'm gonna go ahead and pause my audio again.
I think that doesn't discount that, like, she and me both have to be on the same page. Not to say we aren't, but I feel like I can only speak for myself, that there needs to be like more work done so we could keep going, because there's a lot of focus on our family. There's a lot of focus on careers and everything, and that is something that I feel like has not been the main focus.
Okay, did y'all hear what this man just said? There's been a lot of focus put on our family. Mind you, him and Jhené already had a baby together. So y'all have a family, right? And at the very least, him and Jhené are committed for the next 18 years. Like, they have to be each other in each other's lives forever, right? Because even when the child turns 18, they're going to have all these milestones: graduation, maybe going to college, maybe getting married. So they're going to have all these things that even if Jhené and Big Sean are not together, they still have to come to. But on top of that, they're at the very least deciding to live together, raise this child, and he's referring to the situation as our family. Yet this man doesn't want to get married. Now, with that said, I just want to say this. There are a lot of women who are genuinely not interested in being married to any man, right? I was listening to Cash Doll, and y'all know Cash Doll recently just left her child's father, and she has 2 kids by him. And She left him because he was cheating, right? And she was like, I don't care. I wanted to have my kids. It's never been about marriage. I don't want to be married. And she seemed genuine about that, right? But with Jhene has brought up publicly several times that she wishes to be married to Big Sean. I'm sorry, y'all. My daughter was making a lot of noise. But so she said publicly she wants to be married, and she's been waiting for about 7 years now, over 7 years now, for this man to marry her, and she's already had a kid by him. And what I need a lot of women to understand is, if you want to be married, you have to move differently than a woman who genuinely does not care about marriage. And you got to be able to keep it real with yourself, because a lot of women will say they don't want to be married, and then they have all these kids by a man and develop all these attachments, but in reality they do want to be married. They just didn't want to say it. So now you're 7, 8, 10 years in with the man and bringing up marriage, and he's looking like, hold on, I thought this is what we were doing. Kind of like with Cam Newton and his baby mama, after she already had 4 kids by him. So when you want to be married, you can't do stuff like live with a man. You can't do stuff like have his kids. If you have a man's kids, that's the quickest way. That is the quickest way to guarantee that more than likely you will not get married today. He will not marry you. Or if he does marry you, he's going to wait years and years to marry you. And by then you are what Six the Goddess referred to as a might as well wife. You here, you not going nowhere. You've been with me through all my cheating. You've been with me through all my lies. You've been with me through all my manipulation. You can't let go. You won't let go. So I might as well marry you because you're not going anywhere. And you got to ask yourself, is that the type of marriage that you want to be in? If you genuinely want to be married, then the marry before you carry rule, that applies to you. Now, if you're a woman who can genuinely keep your feelings out of it, you know that she'll move around from a dude, married or not, then you can pretty much have kids when you want to have kids. But you ladies that want to be married, y'all got to move different. And Jhene, she just did not move smart. Cha-Cha. Hey, Cha-Cha, how are you, girl? Girl, I have work in the morning. You know I got to drop a like. Yes, girl, thank you. At the very least, if I see a notification from you, I hope y'all have a good evening. I'll catch the replay tomorrow. Okay, sis. All right. Yes, leave a comment when you catch the replay. Yeah, so Jhene was not moving smart. Another thing I'm going to say about Jhene is I don't think she is as emotionally intelligent as she presents herself. How are you so spiritual and you lack the discernment to see that this man does not want you? That is important. And we can't blame the men for that. A lot of women will say things like, if he doesn't want me, why he won't just let me go? Y'all be on y'all Fantasia. If you don't want me, then don't talk to me. Okay, y'all have to respect how the majority of men are. Okay? Y'all are seeing in your own personal lives and through the examples of other women and the stuff that you see on the internet that men stay. Even when they're miserable, even if they don't want you. Men have even said this. Y'all can see from the divorce rate who is filing the divorce. Men will stay. Men will stay and lie to you and tell you that they want to be there. Men will stay and lie and tell you that they love you, that they still find you attractive. Right? I heard this was actually one of my students when I was teaching at the high school, and he told me, one is too close to none. So you got to understand, it's a lot of grown men that have this mentality where they already feel like First of all, they don't want to deal with one woman because what if she leaves? And then two, the one woman that's there, even if they don't like her, is something. It's a warm body to lay to at night. It's somebody that can give them, a consistent source of sex. Even if she ain't giving it to him, every single day, it's still something. Even if it's once a week or, twice a month, or it's still something versus not having access to anything. And we look at somebody like Big Sean and be like, okay, well, he's famous, he can just go pay for a woman, or he can just, he can have any woman he wants. But that's not always the case, guys. And a lot of famous men, after a while, you get tired of dealing with women who you feel like is only there for your money. You get tired of dealing with women who don't care about you. And it's an ego thing. It feels good to a man that he can actually deal with a woman who actually likes him and wants him, even if he don't want her back. Hey, what's up, D Mally? I'm glad to see you here. Just to kind of recap, we're talking about Jhené Aiko and Big Sean right now, and the fact that Big Sean is refusing to marry Jhené Aiko, even though they've been together for 7 years. And I personally think that yes, Big Sean is wrong for continuing to string her along, especially after they've had a baby. And as a man, he needs to have more respect for himself and her time to leave. But at the same time, as women, we have to respect that is just not a pattern of behavior that most men have. Most men do not leave relationships. They just don't. I don't care how bad it gets. You would have to do something to just outright embarrass them for them to leave. And even then, a lot still won't leave if they don't have any other options lined up. So it is on us as women to be emotionally mature and strong enough to walk away when we can see through actions that a man does not want us and does not want to commit to us. Especially if you are a woman who wants to get married. You cannot move like other women. I think he will regret it. You think he will regret what, D Mally? Marrying her or not marrying her? Okay, let me finish this up. I'm going to put myself on mute. And D Mally, don't forget to answer that.
So y'all not necessarily together now, y'all just figuring it out.
Oh, look at you, Charlotte.
I'm just asking a question.
No, I'm not saying that either. That's, what I'm saying is that it's not perfect and that it needs to be work done.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
The world's most successful.
Can y'all hear me? Okay, I'm sorry, guys. I was saying that marriage to me is less of a commitment than having children. Because a lot of the times, if you have children with somebody, oh my God, hold on, y'all. Okay, hopefully that's over. But a lot of the hey Nicole. Hey Nicole. Okay, a lot of the times if you have children with somebody, then that is a lifelong tie. That is a lifelong tie. It's not just 18 years. If you get married to somebody, and let's say y'all don't have kids at all, kind of like with Jhene Mai and Jeezy. Not Jeezy, Jhene Mai and her first husband, Freddie. Yes, you risk going through a divorce. The divorce might even be nasty. Hopefully, if you're rich, you already have that worked out in a prenup. But for the most part, Jhene and Freddie have been able to go about their business. They've split their assets. Matter of fact, Jhene paying alimony to Freddie. But even then, that only lasts for a certain amount of time, not a lifetime. But they can pretty much go on without any ties to each other. But when you have a child by a man, then you're tied for a lifetime. So I never understand this argument that marriage is a bigger commitment than having kids, especially by people who are non-committal. I think what it is a lot of these men don't mind having children by a woman because at the very least it ties her to him. Like at the very least he knows he has access to this woman even if they break up. He believes there's still a possibility that he can go over there. Or a lot of times it just be for bragging rights. Like, especially men who, and this doesn't even apply to Big Sean, men who collect baby mamas, especially if they have a lot of pretty baby mamas, they just be wanting to tell people that you their baby mama. I know that sounds crazy, but it's true. Marriage is a promise. Marriage and children are a pair to me. Yeah, and I feel like if you're somebody who doesn't believe in, like if you're somebody who wants to be married, especially a woman, like they should go hand in hand. You should never have the baby before you get married. Never. So D'Malley, you were saying that you think Big Sean will regret not marrying Jhené. I think so too, under these conditions. I think that Big Sean will regret not marrying Jhené if she completely cuts him off and for real quit messing with him. I'm not talking about that she cut him off to prove a point. I mean, it's done. When I see you, this is strictly business. We only talk about our child and there's no extra, there's no kiki. There's none of that. Like how I be doing my baby daddy. Yeah, that's the only time. But even then, I don't even know if that would be enough to make him change his ways. Because you got to understand, like, with men, there's always a woman lined up willing to be the fool. There's always a woman lined up willing to play the fool. Especially if it's a situation where he done has some side chicks for some years. They're ready and willing to take Jhené's spot and do the most. So I don't know. I feel like with men like that, they always find a reason not to commit. And this is a pattern. And this is why women, we need to learn how to let go of ego. A lot of the times, it don't even be that we just think that this man is the best thing in the world and we just have to be with him. A lot of it is ego. I'm telling you now, because if the man that you were dealing with was so great, why didn't they have discipline enough to and discernment enough to decide whether or not you were marriage material and the strength enough as a man to walk away when they realized that you were not? So a lot of times these men that these women deal with who won't commit to them, it's not that they're that great. It's an ego thing. The woman has to prove like, no, he really does want me. Like I'm worth something. I'm valuable. And trust me, I've been there kind of like to an extent trying to prove something to myself about like my worth and how it's validated by how a man is treating me, right? I think we've all been there. But once as a woman, you can get out of your ego and make it not about you, but more so about the patterns of behavior that this man has presented over a long period of time, that will help you let go. She can harbor the child to cause havoc on him. You know what? I don't think Jhené is the type to do that. Matter of fact, it seems like her, she has a baby from a previous relationship by Omarion's brother, Orion, and they seem to co-parent really well. So I don't think she's that type. I don't think she's that type. I think she'll have a hard time letting go. I think the only way that relationship will end is when she is ready to let go. And I think she do have a little bit of crazy in her. I'm going to say that. She's really sweet, but she does seem like she will snap. Especially, y'all got to understand, women who pour a lot into a relationship and give so much of themselves, a lot of times those ones will act the craziest because they put so much emotional investment and time into the relationship that, and women are naturally just more emotional and hormonal, that that situation could not end well. So I think he understands that she has to be the one to leave, right? And let me show y'all just how crazy she is. I'm gonna show y'all. I don't know if y'all remember this. I'm gonna show y'all this right here. Let me see.
I'm always looking for new ways to expand people's perspective of the world. From
Big Sean
is another girlfriend of Big Sean.
I'm sorry, Jhené Aiko got Big Sean's whole face tattooed on her. Okay, I'm gonna mute myself so I can play this video so y'all can see. Y'all see that? Oh, hold on. I need to share my screen. Give me 1 second.
Friend of Big.
Here it is. Okay.
Sean saying thank you next. Jhené Aiko sparks breakup rumors after covering up her Big Sean tattoo. The couple, who have been romantically linked since 2017, got the internet buzzing that the two have split after Jhené covered her famous ink of her BF's face.
Y'all see that? You can't tell me that she not crazy. She didn't just go get a name. She got that man's entire face on her arm. Okay, and when I think back, I don't think they had even been together that long. I think she had just left her husband, got with him, and then some months later got that tattoo on her face. And during that whole breakup in 2020, I think they broke up like actually in 2019. So after 2 years, she had to get it covered up. But that a woman who is willing to get a man's face tatted on her, you cannot tell me that she is not crazy and she will not snap. And I think that he knows this, and this is why he will not leave her. And this is not to talk bad about Jhené. I think she's really, really sweet. I think that she doesn't have a mature understanding of what love actually is, right? I think she loves Big Sean more than she loves herself. I think she loves Big Sean more than she loves her dignity, her respect, and her peace. I think she loves Big Sean more than her own personal values, because it's clear that she believes in marriage, but she's showing this man that she's willing to stay with him even though the situation is going against her own personal values. So she's betraying herself. Okay, I'm gonna play this live. And I feel like this live that they did, it was like she was on live first and he hopped on. I think it's very telling. And I want to analyze this. I think this is the one. Yep. Okay.
Thing.
That's like you wearing a t-shirt and being like, "Whoa, I can see her fucking titties through her t-shirt."
Yeah, but the guys do that. What do you mean?
No, that don't be like. It don't be like. It's not that big a deal. Shit don't be trending and like people talking about a print. It's weird. That's not weird.
I mean, it's weird for it to trend, but if it's showing, then people are going to talk about it. So basically, you need to.
I just never looked at somebody wearing sweatpants as inappropriate.
It's like exactly. It's like sundresses for men. And exactly, they'd be like, "I can see her nipples." You know what I'm saying? That's the same. Hard nipples.
When did that start? Like 2019?
No, that's been happening since dicks were invented. Since gray sweatpants were invented. So
Where do we first meet at?
No ID Studio in the Valley. What did you first think of me when you met me?
Shit, I was like, shit, she mine. You knew that.
What?
First of all, you ain't even fuck with me like that when you seen me.
Yeah.
I ganged your ass up. Feel me?
Okay, guys, I think it was important to show y'all that. So, Big Sean, and he ain't forgot, remembered that when he first seen Jhene, he really wanted her. But at first, she wasn't feeling him like that. Now, to be clear, during this time, she was married, right? So, I don't even know why he would say that. I don't even know why, but I do, because it's the ego thing. It's the ego thing. You could be married. You could be trying to get over a heartbreak. You could have a lot of stuff going on. And when you don't mess with a man, when he first wants you, his ego will never forget that. Never. Okay? You better believe that when you show some interest in him, or when you come back around liking on him, and when he gets you right where he wants to, he gonna flip that script. Because he ain't never gonna forget the fact that when he first approached you, you played him to the left, or for whatever reason you were not interested. It's not like women, and this is what I need ladies to understand. It's not like us. We could like a man and he not really like us at first, or he be in a whole nother relationship, or he got a million and one things going on, and if he comes back around and tries to get back with us, like, our ego is not gonna hold on to that so much as long as he's treating us right now. But I have talked to so many women who have told me that they entertained a man who they initially did not want, or did not find him attractive, or they had a whole nother situation going on, and that man chased them down for months or years. And finally, once they fell in love with the man, he flipped the switch. He started treating them bad, or didn't want to commit to them, or all that stuff he was talking about, wanting to be in a relationship or wanting to take her seriously or wanting to get married, all of a sudden that goes out the window. This is a great discussion. Looks like she's his type. They share common interests, do business together. She's been loyal for years, and it's still not enough for marriage. No, Nicole, because at the end of the day, this is a him thing. This is a Big Sean thing. He is non-committal, okay? Remember, he was with Naya Rivera at first. That was his first, was he with her or Ariana? Anyway, he was with Naya Rivera. Okay, she was beautiful. She was successful. I remember him talking about how Naya used to cook and clean for him, the whole fit, feminine, and friendly thing, even though she was an actress and an industry woman, right? But ultimately, he decided not to marry her. She kind of went a little bit cuckoo after that, married a man not too long after that, on the same day they were supposed to be married, right? Got with Ariana Grande. Again, beautiful, successful, decided not to marry her. So Big Sean seems like one of those men, because he's afraid of commitment, nobody is ever good enough. And instead of Jhené recognizing that this is a psychology and a pattern of behavior on his behalf, she's doing everything she can trying to prove to him that she is wife material and worth marrying. And he's still saying there's work that needs to be done. Sir, if after 7 years the work ain't been done, move around. Right? And like Charlamagne was saying, like, any relationship requires work. I don't care if it's a marriage. I don't care if it's a friendship. I don't care if it's with family members. Like, they require work. They require hard conversations. They require getting through conflict. So, if you're somebody who needs perfection, and when I say perfection, let me say this. I think it's perfectly okay to move around from people who blatantly disrespect you, right? I think cheating is a deal breaker. I think somebody putting their hands on you is a deal breaker. I think you should walk away. But those aren't the only types of conflicts that come about. Just simple misunderstandings about simple things, learning how to live in a house together, making big decisions together. See, those are the type of conflict. Personality differences. Those are the type of healthy conflict that is necessary, that grows a relationship that you need to work through in order to maintain these relationships. The work doesn't stop because of that. Now, what I will say is, if there's just constant conflict, then you just got to recognize that your personalities don't mesh. I wonder if he asked for the baby or if they discussed and planned having him mutually. Well, Bianca, do you remember that they actually had a miscarriage? Jhené wrote about it in the song Morning Doves on the Chilombo album, but they both publicly talked about how she was pregnant at one time, but she miscarried, and they decided to try it again. So I think the baby was intentional. And I mean, it's clearly, even if they didn't talk about it, they've been sleeping together unprotected. But I mean, I would think that if he didn't want to have a baby by her the first time he got her pregnant and she miscarried, he would have did what he needed to do to, at the very least, make sure he didn't get her pregnant again. But I think with Big Sean, he just wanted to have that permanent tie to her. And she's one of those women who is so emotional that having a baby with him is going to make it harder to walk away. See, I respect Cash Doll. I don't care what nobody say. I respect Cash Doll because she had 2 kids by the man, just popped out a baby, found out the man cheated on her and was like, bye, I'm good. But a lot of women are not built like that, and men know this. So when they know, hey, she keep bringing up the whole marriage thing, I know I ain't feeling that right now. The next best thing is to just go ahead, get her pregnant. Go and get her pregnant. So a woman like that, that's almost as good as marriage. I'm just wondering if she thought having a baby would get him to marry her, because I think he wanted a child. She already had a daughter. I think she did. You would be surprised how many women are in their 30s and still think this way, or feel like having a baby will strengthen the relationship, or they feel like a man will look at them differently and feel more protective over them because they've had their baby for them. But I don't I don't think that's the unless a man already felt that way about you. I don't think, like, I have seen situations where a woman got pregnant and the man married her, right? I've seen that. Married, and a lot of times before the baby even came along, the man married her. But I think if you done already like popped out the baby and it's been a couple years after that and the man still ain't tried to marry you, he's not gonna marry you, right? Let me go back to this live stream.
Had you made you fall in love?
You're just the most persistent.
I know I be hitting you up like, yo, come to the movies with me. Yo, come here. You be like, I remember one time you didn't
I
fucking
went to the
show up.
movies with you. A group.
Let me say this. I do see the appeal. Big Sean is very handsome. He's very charming. He seems like the type to always talk respectfully to a woman. Like, he doesn't even seem like the type that would raise his voice at a woman. He seems like he'll have patience with you. He seems like he'll be very emotionally mature when he's talking to you. Those type of men, you got to watch out for, ladies, right? I think a lot of the times it's easy for us on the internet to talk about the obvious men who we want to stay away from, right? Like the ones who are always bashing women, have anger issues, cussing you out, right? But a lot of the times, especially if you get grown enough, you see that coming. You see that when it's coming, right? Those type of men, a lot of the times, especially if you're a certain caliber of woman, or you were raised in certain environments, or you've been through enough to where you already peaked that, you know, new levels, new devils. Those type of men you ain't even checking for. You don't even see. They're not even in your spaces, right? Once you get to where you're not even around those type, then you got to recognize it's a whole bunch of Big Seans. Smooth talking, polite, gentlemen like men who are going to court you, take you out on dates, show you a good time, spend the money, be sweet, be the lover boy. That does not mean that they want to commit to you. As a matter of fact, those be the worst men because they've studied women. They know what you like. They know what you want to hear. They know exactly what to say and when to say it. And a lot of times women will fall for those type because it's like, oh, he seems like he's rare. Like, I don't meet men who are emotionally mature and intelligent and respect women. And that's why you can't, that's why you have to try to surround yourself around men where that's only the standard. So then that doesn't impress you. Like, respect is the standard. You treating me correct is the standard. I'm not even going to be in your presence if you don't respect women. And I mean that as far as friends, family, or whatever. I'm to the point now in my life, y'all, I'm not around, nor do I conversate with men who are not kind to women and don't like women. So you gonna have to come with something harder if you're trying to game me up on that tip now, because that's the standard, baby. You ain't impressing me with that. Men don't realize Big Sean is the pookie. Yep. Most men will be sweet to you while they play. That's true, right? Yeah, while they play in your face. It's a lot like that. It's a lot like that, right? And again, if you've only dated the men who are rude, disrespectful, thugs, mistreat women, or hate women, then a Big Sean seems like your knight in shining armor, right? Okay, I'm going to pause myself.
A group date. A group date.
Yeah, I respect it.
What's your favorite date that we've been on?
In Sweden, when we went to that theme park, high off mushrooms.
High. Wrong girl. You know I don't get high.
Oh yeah.
Ooh.
High off life, drinking tea.
Microdosing. Yes, we did microdose mushrooms.
Yeah.
Why don't we take this?
Now, I'm gonna be fair here. I'm gonna be fair to Big Sean. Jhené Aiko has talked about in her music, and she talked about publicly her using drugs. And I'm not saying she's a drug addict. But what I am saying is it seems to be something that she does at the very least recreationally. It's something that was a part of her first marriage, and she was saying, she's tired of being with somebody in the toxicity and doing drugs. There's a possibility that that is still at play, and that is probably one of the reasons why Big Sean, that might be a reason why he's like, nah, I don't know if I want to get married. There still might be drug usage going on. Like, there might be some real deal mental health issues that Jhené is dealing with behind the scenes. Trip was all about that. Yeah, so I don't know. That doesn't sound like a healthy combination. Anytime I hear drug use, I don't think the relationship is healthy, especially if it's a situation where both people are doing drugs. But then you might have a situation where one person doesn't want to stop, or they're not into it as the other person, and the person who doesn't do the drugs is really annoyed or just tired of the person who is overindulging doing it. So that could be a factor. So I'm gonna give him that. And she was trying to play like he was lying, or she didn't know what he was talking about. Girl, you not just smoking weed, y'all doing mushrooms? Okay, what else are you doing?
You got any other questions?
To a private chat. What? How do you get your teeth so white?
I'm brushing bitches. Floss, brush.
Okay. Let me think of something more.
What's the skin routine?
Ooh, I try everything. I'll be mixing stuff giving you.
Yeah. Pause.
Who got your face looking good like that? Who put you on?
No, I ain't gonna lie, my shit clear as a motherfucker though.
Because of who? Because of me. Exactly. You heard what I said.
Do y'all remember how at the beginning of the live, I was saying that if it wasn't for Jhené, Big Sean wouldn't be as popping as he is right now. And when I say that again, because some of y'all weren't here during this part, I think Big Sean is a good rapper. He's a better rapper than a lot of these new rappers out. However, the time for that brand of rap has simply passed. People aren't checking for it anymore. And by people, I mean the younger generation, right? I can still listen to some Big Sean and I'm going to vibe out and I'm not going to change. But, that is, people want to hear the drug music. People want to hear about unaliving people. That's what's hot right now. So Jhené's relationship with Big Sean has essentially been what has kept him relevant. Most of the time, when you hear Big Sean's name, it is in connection with Jhené now, right? Um, so I wonder if in there, y'all hear how she just was like, "Well, who got your skin popping like that?" And I'm sure that Jhené has upgraded his entire lifestyle. As far, and I'm not even talking about money. I'm just talking about him taking care of himself, him looking good, him going to therapy. These are things that we heard about him starting to do after he started dealing with Jhené. So I'm sure there's been some positive benefits, but I wonder if she reminds him, like when he gets to acting funny, I wonder if she reminds him that the only reason why he's still relevant is because of her. And it's not that she would be lying if she said that. It's that a lot of the times a man ego cannot handle that at all, even if it's true.
Nah, for real though. I want to see a skincare line from you. I think people will like that. I think girls will really like that too.
You already know that I'm working on one, so.
I know. Last time I want to see it.
Are you gonna be the male model? Like.
Yeah, you did help me get my shit
I've been
together.
working with my skin since I was 16, but ever since I been using genetics, my face has been clear. Are you gonna do the commercial like that?
Hell yeah. For that chin neck.
I'm gonna do a dick cream.
What you gonna call your line?
It's called.
Let me say this, Jhené, she a little freak. I'm not even gonna hold you. Like, she be being nasty. She loves talking about this man, Eggplant. And I think I saw her on stage one time acting like she was, like giving him head. Like, I've seen him one time tell her, like, why you gotta be so nasty? Like, why you gotta be so vulgar? You could tell he really don't like that, right? But she's so into him and she's so eggplantmatized. It's like, I don't know. She's just always being super vulgar. And, she a little freak. She a little nasty. Okay? She nasty. And I'm not even saying like again, I like Jhené. I think she's beautiful. I love her music, but yeah, I can only imagine what be going on behind closed doors. Yeah, she real freaky. Like, she does this in public. She behaves like that on stage. She'll get on these lives and talk like that. Like, that might be the reason why he ain't went nowhere, because he don't like all that in public, but I can only imagine what's going on when nobody looking. I wonder what his relationship with his caregivers was like. That trust versus mistrust stage on the Erickson stages normally causes the delay in the intimacy versus isolation stage. I've never heard him talk about his dad. I've never heard, and I'm not saying that they're not in each other's lives. Like, when I hear him talk about his childhood, I ain't never heard him talk about his dad. So I don't know if his dad wasn't around, or if his dad wasn't around and came into the picture, or he's always talks about his mom. Even when he did his album, I Decided, it was about his mom, right? He didn't really mention his, I don't remember him mentioning his father, at least not in a positive way, or somebody who was a positive influence, right? So that might be another thing. He probably never saw what a healthy marriage looks like. So, and then you don't know what type of influence his mom has been on his relationship, because that plays a role. So that's a good point to bring up, Nicole.
Genetics by Jhené Aiko. You heard it here,
Genetics.
You heard it here first, folks.
Genetics has entered the universe.
There it is. Look, once again, you guys, look, I'm not trying to see this shit on the Shade Room. I don't go on the Shade Room, so I won't see it anyway, but I just, just stop screen recording, because this is about being in the moment, living in the moment. The internet just doesn't let the moment be,
Mm-hmm.
It just doesn't.
Hey, you was
Now, guys, I remember in this exact same live, let me see if I can find it. I remember in this exact same live, he was like, Big Sean told Jhené, mind you, y'all see that? That said, let me go back. Let me go back so y'all can see what the date says. Okay. 4/16/2020. We are 4 years past this. So in this same live, let me see if I can find it, because I didn't want to, because they were really, she was really on that live for like an hour, and I didn't feel like digging through all that. On this same live, I remember him asking her asking him, why don't you marry me? Because he was like, you look good. And she was like, really? Why don't you marry me? And he was like, oh, that's coming soon. That was 4 years ago. He was like, it's in the works. That was 4 years ago. So he been telling her for the last 4 years that it's in the plans to marry her, and still has not married her. But honestly and truly, whose fault is that? Give me a second, y'all. Honestly and truly, whose fault is that? And a lot of times, women like Jhené Aiko, that's again being spiritual, but being spiritual and lacking discernment. Y'all heard what she said about, oh, it's about living in the moment. I hear her talk about this all the time. It's about living in the moment. But you don't let this man live in the moment you so bad to the point where 4 years has passed. You know you want to be married, and he still ain't married you. And honestly and truly, I wouldn't care if she didn't care. I don't feel like because they've been together for 7 years that they should be married. I don't care. Like, what if they both didn't want to get married? But it's the fact that she wants to be married that makes it matter. Y'all understand what I'm trying to say? I'm not saying it just because you've been with somebody for 20 or 30 years that marriage is the obvious next best step. But if you want to be married and a person is dangling that carrot on a stick in front of you, then that is an unhealthy situation, and you were letting them play with you, and now you're a part of the problem because you're too weak to walk away. It's about betraying your own values and desires and what you want for yourself. That's when it becomes a problem. And she done deluded herself with the use of spirituality into thinking that that's okay. Okay, so I've talked about Jhené Aiko and Big Sean. Y'all let me know in the comments. Do y'all think he gonna marry her? I think if he does marry her, it's gonna be a might as well thing, right? I definitely think it's gonna be, we've been together so long, Jhené with him, and mind you, he's been in several cheating rumors and allegations. There's been video of him out and about with other women, even while he was been in a relationship with her. And I just don't think she's going anywhere. Another thing I think that's going on is, I think, and this is with a lot of men who know that they are non-committal, or that they're going to be the same man during marriage that they were in the dating phase. A lot of the times they don't want to get married because they know this is going to be the end. Like, I'm not going to be able to keep access to her, because marriage can bring clarity to a woman, especially if she's been waiting on the marriage for a long time and the man finally marries her, and then she sees, hold on, I thought the marriage was going to change the situation or give me some type of higher status or make this man start being faithful to me or make him start treating me better or make him care about our relationship more, and he's the same man that he was before the marriage. That brings a lot of clarity to a woman, and that's why oftentimes when you see women who dated a man for a really long time, not too long after they get married, the divorce comes, because it's sobering. Y'all remember DJ Mustard was with his girl for a long time, years and years and years. He was with his baby mother. She had kids. He was a cheater during the dating phase that was well known, and then I don't think they had even been married for 2 years, and he went and filed for divorce. And I feel like he filed because he knew she was getting ready to file or might have been threatening it. But this happens a lot of the times with women who beg that man for marriage only to realize this is not what I thought it was going to be. The marriage doesn't hold the weight that I thought that it was going to hold. Okay. Which that brings me to our next topic of discussion, Cardi B. Y'all, first of all, I'm sick of Cardi B going off on her fans because she continues to put her relationship drama out in the public eye. And then when people say something about it, or when they say something to her about continuously taking Offset back, then she want to cuss her fans out, or she want to cuss people off. She want to go off. She want to say people are in her business. And how can people be in your business when your husband is publicly cheating on you and out and about with other women and not caring, right? Let me find this. Yeah, I'm so tired of Cardi B. Now, Cardi B, she seems like one of those type of women who, like, hold on, let me stop sharing this. She grew up in a 2-parent household. So she believes in people having kids and being married and growing and living in a 2-parent household. I remember hearing her say to Offset's mom, like, I wasn't raised like a dog. I had my mother and my father. So it's clear that marriage is very important to her. Right? But the problem is marriage is important to you, but you decided to marry somebody whose parents were not married, who came from an environment where marriage was not the standard. So let's start there, right? And then also, let's keep it real. Cardi B is like Dominican. I think she's Dominican and Trinidadian. Like, these are cultures where even if the men cheat, the women stay. So that's probably what she saw growing up. A lot of the times, the only reason why these marriages are lasting is because the women decided to stay. That's it. That's the only thing that keeps a lot of these marriages together. Am I saying all of them? No, I'm going to say like 98%. Okay, is the reason why a marriage will last 20 and 30 years. Now, am I also saying that there are not women who cheat? And I'm not saying that either. But I'm saying more times than not, it's the woman that done put up with everything. Or if she did step out, it was after that man had been stepping out. So Cardi B has seen marriage. She's seen what it has been. I think her parents are still together. So she's seen people thugging it out and staying together and working it out, probably no matter what. Then she grew up in the Bronx. So I'm pretty sure she didn't see healthy examples of relationships growing up, because along with financial struggle, that brings things like abuse into relationships, drug addictions, vices, gambling, lots of cheating. People will do whatever when they're dealing with poverty in order to mentally escape their material reality. So we got to give her some grace on that. But it comes to a point where, especially when you have daughters, where you have to have some respect for yourself. Let me tell you, me having my daughter was the most sobering thing. You know, I was with her dad for 5 years, and I got pregnant like around like a little bit after that 4th year. And during year 3, I already knew it wasn't going to work out. I already knew. Mind you, I was 21, during year 3. I was young in this relationship. I already knew wasn't going to work out. I already knew that wasn't the person that I wanted to be with. However, I was afraid to be alone, right? And I had grew up in an environment where I didn't realize that the relationship was toxic until I started seeing other examples of relationships, until I started growing, until I started getting exposed to more things. When you grow up in a certain environment, then a toxic relationship just seems like a normal relationship to you, right? So after I had my daughter, within 6 months, that relationship was over, because I had decided that I didn't want my daughter to see me staying and putting up with certain things that were going on in that relationship. Now, granted, I've never been the type to be continuously like the cheating. Cheating has always been a deal breaker. If I know that you're cheating, if a woman came up to me, or if somebody showed me some text messages or anything like that, like I ain't never been the type to stay. But cheating is not the worst thing that can go on in a relationship, right? So yeah, it just wasn't a good example for me to raise my daughter in. And with Cardi B, I feel like, at this point, kids are in a situation, you need to have more respect for your daughters, right? Now, she done talked about leaving this man several times and ain't went nowhere. I feel like she done filed divorce at least 3 times and still ain't went nowhere. I think she thinks that he really cares every time she pretend leaves, but he knows she ain't going nowhere. So I don't know if she for real this time, but we're going to see. Let's see. Cardi B Files. Officially filed for divorce. Okay, so I'm going to play this.
A few months ago, I started learning English, and to go from
E-News. Okay, I'm going to put myself on mute, y'all. I'm sorry, I need to replace my headphones.
prep. Let's look.
Cardi B is showing there's nowhere to go but up. Hours after filing for divorce from her husband Offset and announcing her 3rd pregnancy, the rapper shows off her growing baby bump while leaving a hotel in New York City August 1st. Cardi wears a matching gray sweatsuit as her belly cheekily peeks out below her cropped sweater with the hood pulled over her head. The 31-year-old first shared the news she was expecting on Instagram, posting pics from a glam photo shoot in front of the lit-up New York City skyline. Captioning the post, "With every ending comes a new beginning. I am so grateful to have shared this season with you. You have brought me more love, more life, and most of all, renewed my power. Reminded me that I can have it all. You've reminded me that I never have to choose between life, love, and my passion." Cardi, who's already mom to 5-year-old daughter Culture and 2-year-old son Wave with Offset, continues the message to her unborn child, writing, "I love you so much and cannot wait for you to witness what you helped me accomplish, what you pushed me to do. It's so much easier taking life's twists, turns, and tests lying down. But you, your brother, and your sister have shown me why it's worth it to push through."
Now I'm gonna say this. First of all, I hope that she has a healthy, happy, and safe pregnancy. And I think that it's an amazing thing if she really wanted to have this baby, right? There are some women who genuinely they just want to be moms. I remember Cardi B talking about how growing up, she always wanted to be like her mom because she saw her mom cooking and cleaning the house and taking care of the kids. And now, I'm not saying that that's what every woman is supposed to be doing, but I'm saying for her, if that's what she felt like she wanted to do as a grown woman, then that's her choice. And I think it's beautiful that she's had her kids. I think, even if it didn't turn out for the best, I think it's great that she's experienced marriage, right? But also, I think Cardi B has used her marriage to kind of throw in other women's faces to make it seem like she's better. She feels like because she got cheated on during a marriage and she has all of her kids by the same baby daddy, because I've heard her say that too. At least all my kids got the same father. I feel like she feels like because all of her kids have the same father and because she was dealing with all of this in a marriage, that makes her situation better than the next chick. Why would you get pregnant after you already decided this guy was not the one for you? Right. And I mean, I guess you could say, well, she probably, she was pregnant and then filed for divorce, but this ain't the first time she's filed for divorce. They've been going through this for some years now. I genuinely think with Cardi, it's been, I want all my kids to have the same father. And then I think she thinks with each new baby, it's going to draw him back in. But he had kids before her. Her kids are not his first kids. Her kids are her first kids, but they're not his first kids. He has other baby mothers. Right? So this is a situation where you have a woman who believes in marriage, has seen marriage, but nobody ever taught her how to properly vet what man is marriage material or worth marrying. And I'm going to be all the way real with this. I think that Offset married her because he saw that she was going to be a megastar. He saw how the industry quickly got behind her. He saw some things that were going on behind the scenes. So Cardi B has kept him relevant, even though the Migos have disbanded, even though they've lost a member. She is the breadwinner now. Nobody's checking for Offset like that. Nobody's checking for his albums like that. He's one of those ones where he's on the way out the door too. But Cardi B, as long as she continues to work and hustle, she'll always have a platform, because at the end of the day, Cardi B didn't really get famous. Like, her music, yes, is what shot her to superstardom, but even before her music, people were rocking with Cardi B because of her personality. And her personality ain't changed. As long as she has that big, bold personality and people are willing to look at her, she's going to keep brand deals coming in. She's going to be able to get roles in movies or TV programs or be a feature artist. So he ain't left her because she's the breadwinner. Why would she leave him? She takes care of the house. Why would he leave her? She takes care of the house. She takes care of the kids. She's a faithful wife. We ain't really heard her name in anything. And on top of that, she's the one getting to the money. But what is Cardi B getting out of that situation being with Offset? Because I believe that even if Cardi had not got into a relationship with Offset, she would have still been propelled to the level of stardom that she was able to accomplish. I don't think that had any bearing on it. I think if anything, it kind of got her, name in some blogs more. But Bodak Yellow was always going to be as big as it was. Right? So this is another situation where you have a woman who is emotionally immature and emotionally unintelligent, who cannot accept that this man not only doesn't want her, because it's really not personal, he doesn't want to commit to any woman. He is not capable of loving any woman. He is not capable of being a good husband. He's not capable of opening up emotionally. And after a while, when you notice this about a man and you're still continuing to stay, you cannot say that it's just him that's the problem. When you're begging this person to be somebody that they can't be, and a lot of men are not gonna say that. Like, they have too much ego to say, I can't be who you want me to be. I'm too weak. The man that you want me to be requires too much discipline of me. It requires too much work. and I simply don't want to do it. Miss Moran, my question was directed to you, not Cardi B. You were describing your situation. Oh, okay. Oh, me. Oh, okay. Yeah, I don't mind answering that. Why would you get pregnant after you had already decided this guy was not the one for you? Okay, yeah, I can answer that for me. This is gonna sound really dumb, but I was dumb. I did not think I could get pregnant. I had been on birth control for a really long time. I'm not gonna say since when, and I know you're like, well, you were only, in your with a really long time, because I had always had irregular cycles. So I had to get off birth control for like hormonal reasons, and then I don't know. At that, I just really thought I couldn't get pregnant. I thought something was wrong. Y'all gotta remember, like at that time, especially like in the Black community, like a lot of women would not put their daughters on birth control, and everybody had always told me if you get on birth control, it's going to affect your ability to have kids, or your eggs are going to be scrambled, or you're going to be infertile. So I just, I was in a long-term relationship, so obviously at that point, y'all know how that go, right? And then after a while, I was just like, oh, I can't get pregnant. So I really thought that. Then when I got pregnant and I had my baby, then I was like, okay, let me get back on birth control. So now don't play about that, right? But yeah, to answer your question, just dumb, not understanding how things work, not having enough information about how birth control works, believing all the stereotypes and stigma behind birth control that a lot of women would talk about in the Black community. I'm just being honest. So no, it was not the smartest decision to make, and I would never make that decision again. But let me be clear, if I had to go back and do it all over again, I would have my daughter, because she's awesome. Like, even when I found out I was pregnant with her, even though I knew I didn't want to be in that relationship, like, I knew I was supposed to have my daughter. So I'm not saying I would go back and not have my daughter. No, knowing what I know, I'd still go back and have my daughter, because my life hasn't stopped. Have I had some struggles and challenges? Yes, but ultimately I feel like my daughter has actually pushed me to be a better person, a more driven person, a more she's helped me develop a work ethic. Right now, will I be having anybody else's kids? No. I'm gonna do a live about that, the rise of child-free women and the one and done. But no, I will never have anybody else's kids, but the one I have, I'm blessed and I'm grateful. But yeah, guys, that's really all I have to talk about. I am going to do a live on Friday. I'm going to put out a video before then. And then it's going to be about the rise of child-free women. And then on Friday, I'm going to do a live so that we can discuss the topic. I really do appreciate everybody that showed up, everybody that commented. Guys, remember to hit the like button so that my video can get circulated across these YouTube streets. Like that, hitting that like button really goes a long way. If you would like to donate to my channel, my Cash App is Mariah Sincere. Also, I will be available to do coaching sessions, right? So that's something new that I'm starting, because a lot of people, they don't like therapists, or they feel like a lot of therapists don't help them, are not real enough with them and address the issues with them. So if you send me an email and you need some coaching, or you're going through a situation and you need some advice and you need the real, or even if you just want to talk about how you can change your life, y'all, I changed my life in a matter of 6 months. Okay, those of y'all who've been watching me since the beginning of the year, I was living in Dallas, Texas. I was struggling. I was depressed. I was going through the most, but I decided, hey, I got to change my life. And I decided I wanted to move here to Medellin, Colombia. And I put together a plan, and I worked the hell out that plan. And now, guys, I can honestly say I am genuinely happy, right? But it took some mental preparation. it was a process. So anybody who's really looking to change their life and you want somebody to work with you in that regards, the proof is in the pudding. I've done it, right? And I believe anybody can do it. So if you want help with that, go ahead and email me. I'm not one of these people out here trying to take all your money. Like, you would be surprised at the fee that I would charge to help you out with that. So don't not ask because you think I'm fit. I understand we in a recession, okay? And I believe everybody should have access to help and mentorship at a price that's not gonna break the bank. So again, guys, thank y'all so much for showing up. I will see y'all on Friday night. Y'all have a good night.